Do you have a condo that can't shake that dated condo look? Sonna's been living here for about a year now, but her place still looks like she's just moved in. The mishmash of furnishings and lack of decisive style need some defining lines and a strong statement of color. Watch the process of creating a room with personality all its own. Style and substance. A home to go is always so much more than just a pretty face. Meet Sonna, who was watching the show and figured she was a perfect candidate for Home to Go. And from looking around the space, I think you are.
Well, thank you.
How long have you been in the space now?
I've been here almost a year, since last June.
Okay, and it's an apartment or is it a condo?
It's actually condominium.
Okay, which I think your parents own it.
That's right, and I rent from them, so they charge me money.
So you do have to pay rent, unfortunately.
I do.
What kinds of things would you like to see?
Oh, all sorts of dramatic changes would be nice.
Okay.
I mean, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of stuff. I've gotten a lot of grief from the milk crates here.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at that.
Yeah.
Feels like college days.
You know, not much has changed, so I think I'd like to get a few pieces, like a coffee table, maybe a couch.
I like the way you've separated that off. It's quite resourceful of you, quite creative, but it's pretty tight.
It is, and it's a little bit heavy, I find, so I wanted that shelf there for a little bit of privacy.
Right.
But it also makes the space feel a little bit narrow, so I'd like to work with that a little bit.
Have you considered moving the bed around in other configurations?
I hadn't, but if we could do that, that'd be fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm noticing you did attempt some paint color in here.
I did. How do you like it?
Not crazy about it. I don't know. There's
Okay.
something about it. It reminds me of a hospital. Hate to say it, but...
Well, that might be because I'm a nurse.
And then I'm taking a look at the sort of typical carpeting that's in here. Are you happy with that?
Not really.
Okay.
It's really speckled. It looks kind of dingy sometimes. It'd be nice to give it a more unified look. I'd love some laminate or hardwood floors or something like that.
I'm noticing you don't have a dining area per se.
Well, it's true.
Okay. Is that important to you?
Not especially. I have the counter here and I kind of live in this area, so I'm quite comfortable eating from the coffee table.
Okay.
So a dining table is not really a priority at this time.
And then your little sort of gardening area at the end there?
Yeah, I do have a garden right beside the window over there.
Which they're quite wonderful. Like the ceiling height here is amazing, and then just through those patio doors you have this amazing courtyard or garden space.
Yeah, it is pretty nice, and it's kind of funny. It wraps right around this room, and it's large. It's probably larger than my entire living space inside. So.
But you haven't really done anything to it. All there is like a couple of plastic chairs out there.
Exactly. So I'd really, really love to make it a more usable space, a comfortable space, especially with the summer coming. It'd be great to have some friends out there.
It's quite wonderful because you're on ground level here, so it's easy access to get out there. In terms of a styling, is there something that you love or any sort of direction you might want to go in? Are you a modern, traditional?
I don't like fussy. I don't like clutter.
So clean lines.
Exactly.
Not too much fussy details.
Yeah, keep the space open, maximize the feeling of space because it's not a huge place at all.
Right. Sonna's idea of sectioning off her bedroom using this particular unit I thought was very smart.
Thank you.
But it's a little tight, and you would agree with that.
It is. It feels narrow.
Yeah. A simple solution I'm thinking is to try to reconfigure the bedroom, running the bed against that wall, maybe perhaps thinking of ideas for a headboard. Get a bit of a focal point. But I do like this unit, and I'm hoping we can use it perhaps somewhere in the living area.
All right.
So let's get it out of the way, turn the bed around, and then again step back.
See what we have to work with.
Yeah, you're ready to move things around. You're ready for some change.
I absolutely am.
So now come on into your new bedroom. What do you think?
It looks great. I love it already.
It's a starting point. Again, I think we need a bit of a headboard thing happening and still block the bedroom with something. I'm thinking fabric, panels, something. The ideas are flowing and definitely addressing that.
Yes. That's a bit of an eyesore.
Dressing up the closet door next. Clean, cool, and collected. Being a minimalist doesn't mean being stingy with color. Bright hits of color can create interest and continuity to a modern linear design. We've recruited the help of Gerald Nimchuk to help with Sonna's space. Now, Gerald is an industrial designer, so I bet we're going to be building all sorts of cool things.
Yes, we are.
Now, right off the top, you've helped her out with paint color, and we've replaced the window treatments at the patio door.
We've gone to some translucent drapes, and which will allow a lot more light to come into the small space, and it would allow her plants to grow as well.
Okay, it's sort of a softer feel as well. And then paint color, fairly vibrant blue. She's obviously okay with color.
Yeah, it is vibrant yet calming. It'll add some identity to a rather generic condo feel that we had before.
Okay, and you haven't done the whole space in blue. We've got a lot of white happening as well.
The white will offset the blue and will also reflect a lot of the light coming into the patio.
Now, there's talk of doing the flooring, and I think you've selected already a particular plank style.
We're going to go with a rustic elm flooring, and we just decided to do this all at once.
Okay, it's the laminate flooring we're going to carry out throughout the whole space.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of a look, you've got some elements here that sort of evoke the style you're going for.
Yeah, the departure points, we looked at some of Sonna's belongings, and we're going to try to incorporate a bit of a modern Asian feel.
Okay. So this tray is a great example of something that she owns that you're sort of taking inspiration from?
Exactly. It shows a lot of hard lines, hard edges, and we're really going to play with the horizontal in the room as well.
Okay. The areas we're helping out with is her bedroom, and right off the top we've reconfigured the bedroom, which I think this is a much better layout, but there's talk of creating more of a partition wall.
Exactly. Rather than what she had before, kind of blocked off the two rooms, this will give it more of an open feel, but it will divide the two rooms as well.
Okay, and then obviously some help in the living room, moving her beyond the milk crates and futon.
We'll bring some more furniture in here. I think we're going to build a couple pieces, and we're going to get her a new couch.
Okay. Fabrics. You got some fabrics that we want to incorporate into the space, and some great colors here.
Yes, some of these will be incorporated into the bedroom through probably a duvet, and also in the living room as well with some throw cushions, and kind of offset some of the white walls and show some bold colors.
I think most of us can relate to these typical closet doors that you find in apartments and condos. Well, Gerald has a simple idea on how to dress them up in keeping with the theme that you're going for, with a slight Asian influence.
We're just going to paper these doors with a Japanese type paper. The way we did this was we simply take a sheet of the paper.
This is the size the sheets come in.
Yeah. And we just sprayed a generous amount of this spray adhesive on.
Right.
And
just stuck it to the doors. We did spray this outside though, because otherwise you get all this overspray and it gets really sticky and messy.
Unless you mask off the area, it's a good idea.
Okay, now you've got the overlap happening.
We're actually going to highlight that overlap by using some of this balsa wood, and it's going to act as trim.
Okay.
And we're just going to stick this on using some double-sided sticky tape.
Right, and this is like really thin, looks like 1/8 of an inch balsa. You get this at like art supply stores and that kind of thing. Okay, so yeah, one on either side and it becomes almost this detail.
And that'll hide the seams and prevent us from having to cut a rather finicky edge there.
Okay, and it looks like we're probably going to need 4 sheets per door to get the whole effect. As promised, Gerald has one of his brilliant designs to share with us, which is a new bed for the bedroom area.
We just built a simple frame out of 2x10s and some 2x4s, and it'll accommodate Sonna's old futon frame.
Okay, which was supporting her mattress.
So we'll use that slatting, and the frame will essentially raise the level of her bed, and it will also allow us to accommodate a headboard and a footboard as well.
Okay, you've built the headboard ahead of time, or we worked on it together, and what's nice is the way you've made it feel more substantial.
We just added some 2-inch strips of MDF to the sides and to increase the thickness.
Okay, and this is the same width as the platform, so our first step is to just screw the headboard directly into the ends of our 2x10s, and then we'll work on the foot of the bed, which is the coolest part of this particular design. Okay, headboard's in place. We could probably fit the existing frame back in, and then we'll work on the foot of the bed. So this just drops in between the two 2x10s.
This is just the center support. It's another section of 2x10.
Okay, more MDF. One on top of the other. Okay, now I'm seeing the 2 little slots for a basket. And now we're ready to install the actual foot of the bed, which also acts as a partition wall. And you constructed this all out of what, 1x2s, and it looks like 1/2 inch by 3/4 inch strips?
Yep.
And it works on a pressure fit. Up at the top, we're gonna place some guide pins. And at the bottom here, you've got this hardware, which I think traditionally you use it for bifold doors, and it creates a nice pressure fit. Very cool, nice and graphic. I'm getting a sense of the direction you're going in. And then in terms of a paint finish?
Probably a dark chocolate brown to match some of the trim on our closet doors and throughout the room.
Okay, great. I've been given the job to develop Sonna's outdoor area. I wanted her to move up from the white plastic containers and white patio furniture. Basically, I was inspired by this material I have down below here, which is referred to as terracotta chimney liners. You'll find this at your construction supply store. We're basically creating for her a container garden. We're going to use the shapes and create different levels and variation. So our first step is to place around the arrangement. You'll see that you can configure them in different ways, and the best part is this whole project is portable. Sonna could take this off to her next space and come up with a different configuration. Now that I've found a configuration that I'm happy with, we're ready to do some planting. Now the reason why it's important to predetermine your configuration is that you can't really move these once you've planted. The reason being, you'll notice that each of the terracotta liners do not have a bottom. So you're not really able to move it until you're ready to dismantle the whole setup. In order to fill some of that volume, I've chosen to work with cedar mulch here, really inexpensive material. And then the plants that I've selected a combination of indoor house plants and some garden plants. With the garden plants, we're actually going to plant them right into the mulch, and with the house plants, we'll maintain the containers and just use the mulch to fill some of the volume and get the elevation set appropriately. Now finally, I picked up this very simple modern bistro set which keeps in the modern direction we're going with. The garden becomes a wonderful focal point for our small bistro set here, and the best part is that Sonna can take all the pieces and reconfigure it very easily in her next space. How to make a long and low entertainment unit when we come back.